Okay, we are recording. Peace, Brother Shawn. How you doing?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing excellent. Okay, so you asked me to do an interview, and I guess that's because you have some things that you feel like you need to say or things that people need to know. So is that the reason why you wanted to do this interview?
Right. And the reason why I wanted to do this video is so, people could have, closure with the situation, dealing with, a lot of these cats in the conscious community, especially dealing with, Will Copprue, give them an opportunity, of why I came to the conclusion that I came to, that this brother is doing, he fought with his teachings. So that's the main reason for this.
Okay. Well, what would you say to people? Because it's a lot of people that's sitting back and they're watching, the back and forth or whatever that's going on. What would you say to the people who may think that you have some type of vendetta or something against Will Copprue? Can you just let them know that, what type of relationship you have with Will, and that it's not like you're not trying to be malicious or trying to be spiteful with it? You just you see what's happening, and you feel like you have to explain, warn the people, so to speak, right?
Right. Yeah. First of all, it's not no vendetta. You know what I'm saying? Me and him personally ain't got no vendetta against each other. You know what I'm saying? It would probably never be a situation like that. You know what I'm saying? Because he really not that type of dude. And I'm not that type of dude. You know what I'm saying? It's not that level of hate. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that he's running with some circle of people, now that, might be bumping his head up, and different things. But this here is strictly about the, about why I feel that some of his readings is not as accurate as people think it is. That's the information that I'm here to give out. This ain't got nothing to do with Will Copprue personally, or me personally, because it's, that's, I'm a grown ass man. He is too. So that's not what this is about.
Well, the thing about it is the people. And I'm going to back up a little bit because it's something that I want you to just clear out first before you get into what you're about to say regarding the bogus teachings and things of that nature. There's people who just don't understand where you come from with the information. So you and Will are brothers, right? Like, you know him. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to get that established, that you know him personally.
Yeah, I know him personally, and when these so-called readings first kicked off, what people got to understand is that I was living down there in New Orleans,
Right.
And that's what I wanted.
You're just not somebody that's just coming out the blue just to attack him. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not just somebody coming who done watched a few of his videos and feel like you need to rise up and attack him. You actually was there and you saw all this happening.
Yeah, I was there. I stayed in a house with him. You know what I'm saying? In Algiers, Louisiana, I'm not going to give out nobody's personal address, but I mean, yeah, I was there in the house, he slept in the living room in his sister's house, and I slept in the office where most of the videos that people see, that's where it's shot at, in his sister's office, or in the backyard. His sister's backyard, but I was sleeping in the office, because how that whole situation happened of how I ended up staying with Will was, me and Will, we've been friends about I'm gonna say about 2 years now, because we both was truck drivers, so our companies was next door to each other, and we happened to bump into each other at a truck stop. And we both had a level of knowledge. He said some stuff on the video about, I was in the Black Jesus and all that. I always had a level of consciousness, but it was the way he was bringing his level of knowledge. I was like, let me check this dude out, and that's when we, exchanged numbers and became friends like that. And the dude, as far as knowing the basics of consciousness, I mean, he got that down pat. He a brilliant dude.
Fundamentals. Mm-hmm.
Right, the fundamentals, I mean, I ain't going to knock that. I never say, oh, he don't know nothing. He brilliant when it comes to that. So moving along, how I got to New Orleans, we were supposed to be going into business with each other or whatever, and it was this dude that I was dealing with that was friends to me that was kind of shady, and so we got caught up in a situation where we both had resigned from our jobs, and so we was left out in the cold when this dude pretty much took off with some of the stuff we had invested in going into this business. So I was on some revenge shit at that time. And so at that time, Will was like, you know what, man, come down to New Orleans, let us put our heads together, let's take a spiritual route to this situation right here, and that's how I ended up getting down there in New Orleans. That was probably around the end of June, probably about the second to last week of June of this year, 2016.
So that was recently.
Right, yeah, recently. That's around the whole time this conference and reading stuff took place. So,
Well, you know what? Let me add this, because around that time, and it's funny that we talking and everybody now starting to piece it together and look at the timeline, because that's around the time that he started coming to me. Because how I met Will is I shared one of his videos, the video about the preacher, the one that you didn't really want to be on, because that was a part of a message that I had received as well. So I was like, okay, here goes some confirmation finally. So when I shared that video, at that point he started, reaching out to me, and he would say things on the post in the comment section, sister, get at me, we need to talk. So I think that went on. I think that started in March, about May, and so about June,
exactly. That's around that
time.
Right.
And so he reached out to me. He was, he kept coming. So finally, I was like, well, let me listen and see what he got to say. So I put a little messenger chat together, the little Facebook chat. I think we started with 7 people. And I let Will have the platform and start saying what he had to say. So he was bringing things that we really hadn't heard before, but he was pulling stuff out the Bible with the ye are God stuff. So, me and my sister was like, okay, well, maybe this is what the Caucasoid been hiding from us. So we started listening, and things start growing, and you know how it is. You start promoting people when you believe in what they're saying. And so we started promoting Will.
And it's funny because when those conferences started, I was actually in New Orleans when it started and living in a house, with him and his family. And it's crazy because his nephew came to me one evening, and he was like, Shawn, why you don't never participate in the conferences with Will? And, I ain't want to start nothing, within the family, so I kind of bit my tongue on it. But me deep down inside, I was like, man, some of the
So from the beginning, you knew that what he was saying there was like a little bit of untruth in it, because like I said, we was new to that information. Me personally,
of course, like I said in one of my videos, me and Will, we used to always sit down and, because I'm going to tell you one thing about Will Copprue, one positive thing is he's spiritual all day. You know what I'm saying? He don't watch no television. I mean, the brother's spiritual all day. But the thing about it was, we would sit down sometimes before we would do stuff, and there was a lot of stuff that we didn't see eye to eye on. I'll be like, man, where you you sure you want to put that out there like that, and he is a very, very opinionated person. He's one of these people where, hey, what I got, the way I think it, the way I didn't learn it and know it, that's what it is.
Right, kind of headstrong.
Yeah, very, very, very headstrong. Very headstrong, he very headstrong. So, that's how he was with that situation. And so there's a lot of stuff and views that I felt that, was never put out in the public. So, a lot of stuff I didn't agree with. As far as how the readings took place, we had a friend down there named Paris, and Paris is part of the Ephah culture, and she really, really can see. I'm talking about, when I say really can see, she sees so much of stuff, with a third eye and everything, that it's amazing the things that she can see. And she was getting some things from the mothers that we needed to take a spiritual bath and do a ritual to Shawn. And so this happened around, I'm going to say this probably around June or the early part of July. We went out early in the morning before we went to the lake, we took a spiritual bath. We got some Florida water, some coconut. I think we put some white flowers, yellow flowers in the bath water. And so he went in the bathroom, he took his spiritual bath. I went in the bathroom, took my spiritual bath, and we were supposed to go out there. Well, no, we did go out there before the sun rose on the lakefront in New Orleans. And when we went out there to the lakefront, we focused on meditating. And it was a lot of stuff going on out there at the lake that morning. I mean, some amazing stuff. I mean, they had birds disappearing, just all kind of stuff. But one of the things that I noticed that kicked all this stuff off was when he was sitting next to me, I looked in his eyes, and I was like, Will, are you okay? And he was quiet. And I was like, Will, look, you all right? I said, man, you see what I'm seeing? And he was like, man, I don't know really how I'm feeling right now. And I said, man, say something, because I said, you look kind of strange. And, me personally, it just looked like something had entered him at that moment. What it was, I don't know. But that's what kick-started all this stuff off. So we went back to the house or whatever, and I remember walking down the hallway, and I saw him talking to himself. I was like, Will, who you talking to? I'm like, I was like, who is this you talking to? And he was like, I think I done elevated. I said, elevated? I said, yeah, we both elevated spiritually, but I don't know in what way. And he was saying, nah, man, I'm hearing his voice, And so I was like, is you seeing anything? He was like, no, but I'm hearing his voice. And so I said, well, there's only one way to see if what you're hearing is true. And so I started asking them all different kind of questions and different things about different stuff, and it wasn't adding up. It wasn't adding up at all. And I told them, and I went and meditated to the mothers the next day, and I told him, I say, Will, what I'm getting from the mothers is, whatever this is, this voice you're hearing is not right. You need to kick it. You need to get rid of that right now because it's giving you false information. And
oh my goodness, from the very beginning.
From the very beginning. So I remember him, meditating and coming back to me, but then he started with it again. But here's the thing that really, really, really raised hairs up on my arm was when one night Paris came by. We was outside, all three of us, and they had this motorcycle that passed by, and we looked at each other, and what I had got spiritually, I had got that, this dude here on this motorcycle, he need to, be careful of how he's speeding on this motorcycle. So I looked at Will, and I think Will probably was kind of feeding off of my look, but I was like, hey man, what you getting in this situation? And Will was very specific. He was like, man, that guy gonna be dead by 11 o'clock tonight. And it kind of shocked me in Paris. We looked at him like, because when you're dealing with these spiritual messages like that, nothing is that accurate, that on point. Nothing. You see what I'm saying, with names and all that stuff. I don't care how many years you've been doing it, it don't come to you that accurate,
Right.
And so that raised a red flag, and then that night he just looked like he was possessed with something. So what happened was that next day, he took his daddy out to go fishing, and I walked outside, and I saw the guy on the motorcycle pass by. Now this was the next morning. He was supposed to be dead, right? But I saw the guy on the motorcycle. So I never told Will nothing because I wanted to, see what this voice is he hearing and see if this thing accurate or not. So when he came back in the house, he was like, hey man, that guy that we saw on the motorcycle, I'm hearing that this guy he died around midnight last night. And I looked at him, and I didn't say nothing at that particular time.
Right.
And I was like, man, I told this dude, whatever this shit is he hearing ain't on point.
Right.
This ain't right. So another incident happened a few days later. We had played the lotto in New Orleans, and you know how the lotto numbers come in at, I think, 10 o'clock at night or whatever. And when the lotto came in, he was, this same voice he was hearing was telling them that he had won the lotto. I said, man, look, the numbers ain't matching up, man. The physical with the spiritual ain't matching up. So that next morning when we woke up, he was like, man, this voice told me that we need to go to the store or whatever. I said, go to the store? I said, man, look, we ain't win the lotto. He was like, no, it's telling me that when we go to the store and the cashier sees the numbers, they not going to see these numbers. They going to see the winning number. And I was like, man, I don't know about that. That don't sound too good. He was like, nah, man, you got to trust spirit. You got to trust spirit. Who you trusting, flesh or spirit? So I was like, all right. So I rode with him to the store, and I stayed in the car. He was like, man, I ain't going up in here because I know that, this ain't what's happening. So when he went into the store, he came out. He was like, man, what's going on here? I was like, man, I don't know what's going on. But I said, man, whatever that is that you hearing ain't on point. And so from that moment right there was when I was like, you know what? Because I'm from Baton Rouge. I'm not from New Orleans. I got relatives in New Orleans, but I'm from Baton Rouge, which is like 60 miles from New Orleans. So that's when I was like, man, look, I got to get back to my hometown because I need to get back to work. Because I said, man, I ain't got no time to be with this foolishness. Because I said, you know, that's when I kind of, you know, I was really separating myself from her because I'm like, I don't know what the hell going on here. And what I did, you know, I called my people. They came and got me, and I went back to Baton Rouge. And I was staying with one of my partners who, at that time, he was kind of halfway conscious, too. And he was watching some of Will's videos. He was like, man, look, I've been telling you about Will, man. Something ain't right. You know, I've been watching his videos. Something definitely ain't right. And, you know, in Baton Rouge at that time, there was a lot of stuff going on. That shooting had just took place, and, you know, the flood was around that time. But when I was checking the Facebook or whatever, that's when I started seeing that Taria Deshay and Will set up a GoFundMe. That's when the reading thing came about, and that's when the what else he put up? It was something else.
Okay, so can I say something about that? Let me say something about that, because all that came from that little 7-people group. You know what I'm saying? That little 7-people group that started as a Facebook chat, and then we promoted Will and promoted Will and promoted Will and promoted Will. Taria was my admin, and I had told her, I said, you'll be in charge of helping promote Will. You know what I'm saying? Help promote him, because, you know, like I said, we was listening and it sounded good to us at the time, but then you know how you can mix truth with lies, and after a while you start picking, you know, something in your spirit will be like, oh, that don't sound right. You know, so by the time I started having them feelings, Taria was heavily promoting Will, and, you know, you begin to see her just, that's all she did, put Will out there. And so his videos started getting more views. He started making more videos as time went on. And so you would see I stopped promoting so much, and I was sitting back because the spirit was like, wait a minute, this ain't sounding right. But by this time, he had begun to get a little, you know, a little following. People was listening. You know, his friend requests and stuff was growing, and he was still tagging me in the stuff, and I'd be like, all right, peace, God, or whatever, you know, because I'm still trying to figure out what the hell this is I'm seeing, you know, and why the spirit keeps telling me, prompting me, because he kept pushing me to do certain things, and I just wasn't with it. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, it just didn't feel right to me, but he was saying.
And that's Will Copprue. He's very, very pushy, very, very manipulative, very, very headstrong, you know. That's part of him, you know. And I'm not saying that, you know, because, see, when you start saying about people characteristics, people start to be like, oh, well, he picking mess. No, this
and that's not what it is.
Mess. This is just his characteristic that anybody who got any kind of right kind of mind can pick up those vibes from him.
Definitely, because this is the thing. When it comes down to, I'm a firm believer in, when it comes down to your spiritual journey, you need to be allowed to have that journey. If somebody's forcing you to do something and it don't sit right with you, that's the first red flag. And he would try to get me on the phone. I had another admin, and like, you didn't see all this fallout that happened, but I had another admin, and I'm not putting names out there, but same thing. And we couldn't figure out what the hell happened to our little sisterhood, but we found out later on he was like working us against each other. But that's one of the things I had told her. I was like, you know, don't get over there by yourself and let him start whispering in your ear. Whatever y'all discussing needs to be discussed with us. And so he was saying little things and all that stuff. And so a lot of that stuff is why you see all the chaos that happened. You notice both of my admins that were with me ended up against me with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So people weren't paying attention to what was going on, and they all thought, okay, you just trying to be messy. No, we weren't trying to be messy. And when it comes down to it, my thing is this. If you're leading somebody, misleading somebody spiritually, you know, it becomes our responsibility, especially for me. You know, and I know how you feel too, but especially for me because I promoted him. Okay, so once I realized that he was misleading people, it becomes my obligation to, I'm going to make this word up, unpromote him. But you understand what I'm saying? It's like at some point I have to tell people, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't see this, but now you heading down the wrong, you know, and people sit back and say, well, you being messy, I'm not being messy, I have to, this is spiritual stuff.
Right, that's just like, you know, a lot of people mention, well, Shawn, you shouldn't have took it to Facebook with the videos. Well, I tell all these people this, your first meeting with Will was from Facebook.
On Facebook. That's right, and they don't understand what this spiritual stuff.
Yeah,
you have to do that. You have to expose them publicly. If they do the thing publicly, you have to expose them publicly. Now, if it was something private, like say he cheating on his wife and things that hidden, then you come to the brother, you pull him aside and say, hey, you need to sit down until you get that right. But I've been exposing false preachers, false doctrines. I've been exposing them since 2011, so I know the process. You know what I'm saying? And people, you know, they say, touch not my anointed when I was in Christianity and I had to expose all them pastors. I mean, it's different. If you're if you're lying to people, I mean, you have to consider these people as his congregation. Because see, what they're doing is they're taking his spiritual advice and they're actually applying it to their lives. I got an inbox full of people now who having repercussions from incorrect spiritual advice. You can't play with that. You know what I'm saying? You can't play, and you can't just be like, oh, well, that's them. Especially for me, since I was the one who promoted so heavily. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
So it's like, you know, if anybody come and, like, you know, I heard some little stuff. I haven't been paying much attention to all the back and forth, but it was something said, like I taught her everything. Well, I'm going to say this, because I've always been a spiritual warrior. I understand the spiritual realm. Remember when I said the spiritual realm don't change. It may, the words and the names that they call these particular spirits may change based on the level that you elevate to, but the spiritual realm doesn't change. But when I started listening to him, like I said, I was like, well, maybe this is something that I haven't heard before. But the more I started to listen, the more my spirit was like, no, that's not how it goes in the spirit realm. You know,
and then too, I want to address this too. People was telling me that, you know, this guy, I think his name is Osaka 4 or whatever, was taking shots. Well, you know, I checked out his videos, and you know, he really ain't called no names out. But I will tell everybody this though, I don't know him. I never was friends with him on Facebook.
Me neither, and I'm like, where he come from? Because I don't know him like that.
Never had a conversation with him. Never had an inbox with him.
Right.
I don't know that dude. Like the first time I went to his page was when, you know, everybody was inboxing me, telling me, hey man, he might be throwing shots on the video, but I mean, I really don't know him. Like I say, this situation that I'm talking about, I stayed in New Orleans with Will. I knew Will personally. You know, I'm in person seeing this dude. I'm eating at the same table.
But
with
that's
this
the thing.
guy,
Osaka 4 don't even know. Osaka 4 does not even know Will on that level. You know what I'm saying? So for somebody to stand up and be pounding their fists and making threats, first of all, I ignore all that crap because this is my thing. If you was going to do something, you would have did it. And then, two, when you're a real spiritual person, you know when somebody got power and when they just kicking up dust to make it look a certain way. But this is my thing. If you didn't know him, see, you signing on contracts and stuff with somebody and you don't know the personal stuff that's going on. You know, you don't know the details. You know what this person telling you, oh, they coming at me, they trying to do this, that, and the other. Well, when you rise up like that, I mean, you can already see what the reason for doing that. It's all about money. You know, when you look at the end of the day, it's all about money, because if it was about the people, if it was about caring about these people's spiritual health, you would have took the time to stop and say, well, hold on, let me see what's really happening here before I jump out there and speak out. Because like I said, I'm not going to lie to nobody. For 2 weeks, I couldn't hardly sleep because I had women in my inbox, and I'm not going to go there with no details, but I had women, and now I got 4 men who have come to me saying, ever since I did this, and this, now these things are happening. Help me. They coming to me for me to help them.
Right.
You understand?
And that's because,
I'm telling spiritual baths and all that. And I'm looking at these other people. You just trying to collect money.
Right. That's because, you know, like I was telling a young lady that got some info from Will a day ago. I was telling her, I said, you know, that's because when Will started doing the candle videos or whatever, it's a lot of info that he didn't put out there to people because, you know, he had that headstrong kind of, you know, I'm a God, you're gonna be protected type stuff. But you can clearly see he ain't got that power. And when you doing these type of things, like I was telling this young lady, your environment has to be correct, especially when you burning black candles, because we talking about a very, very powerful candle. You know, you can light a black candle, and somebody else's negativity can cling on to you, or it might be something that happened in that house years ago. You got to investigate the property and all that type of stuff. Because this is what I want people to understand about this spirituality. Whatever these people tell you in the consciousness, they not telling you the whole story. Just like you see these movies with the conjuring of bad spirits, that's very, very real. Just like you got good, you have bad. And
let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you a question. I want to ask you a question about this, because I haven't seen nobody say this yet, but I know that it's coming. As far as your melanin and you being black and you being considered a god or a goddess, does that mean that you are off limits to certain lower vibrational entities or demons and things of that nature? Because this is my understanding. Because like I said, I'm a spiritual warrior. I've studied demonology. I've studied all of that. I know how lower vibrational entities work. One of their methods of entry is by tricking you. Okay?
Right.
You can get out there. You can get out there and give up your free will, not knowing that you're giving up your free will, and have all kind of stuff attached to you coming in your home, affecting your relationships with the people in your home, should you give them a doorway. And I believe that people are going to try to say, oh, you a God, that ain't going to happen to you. Can you be tricked? Can you still be tricked?
Yeah, you can still be tricked. Yes.
Damn right.
Most definitely.
Damn right.
I mean, the wrong things can steer into you. Because, look, you got to understand this. You got 3 bodies. You got the flesh, you got the soul, and you got the spirit. And that soul is the one right there that, controls a lot of different things. That's where a lot of things infiltrate in, and that affects your spirit. That affects how you react with your flesh, because we're talking about a body that's pretty much sandwiched in between the other two, and that's what the conscious community needs to concentrate more on, instead of going on here hurrying up, giving people all these rituals and all this shit without telling people the consequences of it. Most definitely, you can have negative things. In fact, a lot of people in consciousness have negative. Because thing you had on one of your pages that I saw other day that is so true is about the spirit realm. You know, that spirit realm is no different. It's just a different name since we didn't left Christianity. But that spirit realm still exists, because you got to understand that some of the ancestors that we're connecting with, these people transition in the Christianity and in the Christendom. So you know, it's the same spirit realm. They ain't, you know, it ain't changed. You know, now can they elevate to different spirit realms? Yeah, they can.
Yeah,
they
can.
But at the same time, can bad stuff infiltrate us? Yes. Also, bad things can infiltrate them in the spirit also. You know.
Right, and this is the thing about this. I was going to ask you about this spirit sex, and a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people having it, and a lot of people are pumping it up. I want to say these spiritual gurus kind of pumping it up, but see, they're showing one side. You know, it's like, oh, you can go on the astral plane and you can have all this mind-blowing sex with gods and goddesses, and so people are like, oh, yeah, but see, what people don't understand about this matrix is that there's 3 traps, there's 3 spells: religion, money, and sex, lust.
Right.
You can get yourself caught up, and this is what's happening. See, in religion, that was one trap. Okay, so you navigate up out of that, and then you came into consciousness or whatever you did. But then you get over here to consciousness, and I'm seeing all these. I mean, it's like ego is another one. And see, people don't understand when you elevating yourself and you like, I'm a god. See, that's a trap. That's a trap. If you think that you untouchable in the spirit realm because you, quote unquote, somebody told you was a god. So you skip out there to the spirit realm, especially the astral plane. The astral plane is nothing but the 4th dimension, but that's a lower dimension. You can elevate up through that. But that's what a lot of
any time somebody is violating somebody's spiritual space, and what I mean by violating it, you know, just like your house in the flesh, you know, you ain't gonna just let somebody just walk in your house, even if you know them or not. They violating. If you ain't invited them over, that's the same thing with spirit. That's a violation, you know. That, and anybody that's saying all this kind of stuff, you know, they you know, they need to be careful of that, you know. They need to be careful of all these people in consciousness getting too personal and stuff like that.
Yeah,
you know,
you said something the other day. You said something the other day. I don't mean to interrupt you. I just want to put this in there. You said something the other day when you gave me a lady to do readings, because you said these women do not need to be having these readings.
They said it again. I'm sorry.
You said to me the other day, you gave me a name of a female person who did spiritual readings. And you gave me that name, and one of the things you said because these females, these sisters, do not need to be having spiritual readings off to the side with these male people, these people doing spiritual readings. You know what I'm saying? Because it can get too personal, and it can get sexual, which it has on many occasions.
Exactly.
Everybody I'm talking to is having the same experience, and that's not right.
Exactly. You know, I don't recommend that at all, because I have heard, you know, from a lot of people that have been in this consciousness for a long time. A lot of these males can put rituals, can put spells on you, can do all kind of violations to you in the spirit, to where, you know, it's hard to break that. You know, and you can break it, but you're going to be at a battle trying to fight it, because you got to find out what they done did. You know what I'm saying? My goodness. Listen,
that's a whole nother, and that's what I had. I think Friday I started going into that teaching, because I sat over there in Christianity, and I taught that for a long time. That is one of the things. I mean, people was coming out the woodwork because it was something that was held private, because they was embarrassed about it. Because see, what when you start tampering and that kind of stuff, like you said, you can have, say for instance, somebody sleep with Will, right? They sleep with Will, and he has an entity. He got an entity. He can deposit that entity, right? That entity can take hold of that particular entity because, see, you have to understand that we're dealing with parasites, spiritual parasites. They don't want to be without a body. They want to be in a body. So he can give you that parasite, and now you possess. You know, now when it comes down to spiritual husbands and spiritual wives, people don't understand. These things will attach to you and prevent you from meeting a spouse. Like, I mean, I have had so many people that I have had. Like, well, you ain't Christianity is deliverance.
Where you shouldn't be doing any kind of sexual ritual or anything like that, but only with somebody that you are married with. You know, and even at that, you still got to be careful. Right,
it's legal in the spiritual, because if what people don't understand is in the spiritual realm, they follow certain laws. There's certain laws that's in the spirit realm, and spirits can do certain things, and certain things they cannot do, and that's why they seek to trick you into giving up your free will. See, if they can trick you, that's one of the things. If you look at the movies like them vampire movies and movies where they have them spirits and demons, you have to actually give permission to a spirit for a spirit to inhabit you. You understand what I'm saying? You have to give permission, and you can either do that verbally or through an action. People don't know that. That's why vampires used to have to be invited in. You have to, you know, if they come and knock, you have to actually invite them in. That's the same thing with a spirit. But if you decide that you're going to sleep with a person who got an entity, then that's you giving permission to that entity to come into your body, because that's not your husband. That's not your spouse. You understand what I'm saying? That's not your spouse, and that's how that works. That's why they were saying that, you know, don't be out there fornicating, because you're going to pick up all kind of sexually transmitted demons. You will.
Right, exactly.
And these things will come to you in your sleep. I mean, they can manifest. I mean, I had a cousin who actually saw one. They can manifest. So people playing with something that's very, very dangerous. Like I said, I mean, I feel bad. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I'm sorry. I feel bad because, like I said, it's like you want to go out there and you want to just wave this red flag and tell people beware, but it's like you ain't on some malicious stuff like trying to take these people down. I mean, somebody asked me if I felt like Will was deceived. I honestly feel like he is deceived, just like in the churches. They say they deceive, being deceived. You understand? Yeah. It's not like he know that he lying. He think that he's telling the truth. So this is why he's so with such passion.
And for me, you know, being firsthand there, he too headstrong to know that he's on the wrong path. You know, he don't know what he's doing. And I'm gonna tell you another thing about Will. Will don't read no books. Everything that he knows and that he's kicking spiritually, he didn't watch Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Blair. I always see him in these videos talking about, I rock with Dr. Blair and Bobby Hemmett. Man, you ain't never met these people in person. If it wasn't for YouTube, you wouldn't even know anything about these people teachings. So when you do your video, a lot of your info is coming from these guys. But he got to understand that these guys been in this for years and years and years. They done read books. They done studied. They done went out there and checked out the different sources. And who knows, everything that they saying is not correct.
Right, you have to test everything.
I will say that everything that they're saying is not correct. You can't be that big of a sponsor for nobody in anything, especially consciousness, because ain't nobody on the same page. You never seen none of these. You never seen Bobby Hemmett, Dr. Blair, Phil Valentine, Dr. Umar. You ain't never seen none of these guys just get together, be on a panel, and say, you know what? We all believe in the same thing, and we all go, this is what it is. But you got to understand that these guys, and it's coming from me, from Shawn, I could give a damn how anybody want to take it. They take it the way they want. But these guys is entertainers. And when you get into something like that and you have a following, sometimes that following gets bigger than you also.
Yeah.
And you get the big head.
The ego.
And when these people, and when these people are confident, this becomes a way of life. So you got to keep feeding the people something. See, what I understand, I never wanted a following. I never wanted that crowd because I already knew about that. Because I was part of Christianity when it was like that. So I'm used to how people react in some that you speaking. And see, like I say, you know, as far as the fundamentals, he's brilliant. But you know, you can't be a sponsor to all these different people like that. Not saying that stuff that Dr. Blair, everything he said was wrong. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that you got to do your own thing. You got to research this and do this for yourself.
You have to learn how to eat the meat and spit out the bones. And that's what because I remember when Will was coming so hard, he was like, he was telling one of my friends and admin, tell them to stop listening to all them people, just listen to this. And I said, well, wait a minute now, because I'm a listen to what the hell I want to listen to, because that's what I was doing when you came. I'll listen to the bum on the street, because I believe that he may have, you know, a nugget or something for me, planting a seed or something, and then if the rest of it is foolishness, I'm going to disregard it and I'm going to keep it moving. And I may walk with you for a minute. That don't necessarily mean that I'm following you. I'm not no follower. You know what I'm saying? But I may walk with you and hear what you're talking about for a minute, and then I'll come across somebody else, and I'll walk with that person and take what I need from that person, all to help me on my spiritual journey. But you're not going to just say, you only listen to me and only – see, that's when you get into that cult stuff, and I know that's the C word. Everybody flip out when you say cult, but that's what the hell it is. If you start following somebody – and you're not allowing yourself to spiritually grow and prosper, you're looking to somebody else. You're going to let somebody else eat the word and then come regurgitate it to you, and then that's what you're going to do. That's a cult. That's following. That's how you end up dead, because you done drunk the damn Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? You have to do your own thing. You know what I'm saying? And I be seeing all the people, everybody, oh, God, this, hey, God, this, and everything he say is gospel. Y'all going to be messed up, because I'm going to tell you something right now. Popcorn, like, we finna get ready to go through a transition. Some things is really finna happen in the physical realm. I have been warning people since 2011, get y'all some water, put something away, because something going to happen. I don't know how long it is. You need to get into the spirit and find out what you need to do for you and your family. But if somebody is not telling you to prepare for this rough time that we finna go through, because I asked them specifically, what do we need to do? Just get you some popcorn and chill. Okay.
And another thing I want to touch on, you know, while I'm on this, you know, interview, is also this thing where this voice that he was hearing. At first, when this thing started, this voice was supposed to be his uncle. Okay, like
I ain't never heard that.
Yeah, well, I heard it because he told me, because I was there with him. So now listen to what I'm saying. He personally initiated himself to the God Haru. Ain't nobody else initiated him to this. Nobody. He initiated himself, you know, and I was
you can't do that. You have to have elders. I mean, it's because I worked with an Ephah priest and priestess who was telling me, they was like, this is the process. You don't just, you know, you have to be initiated by somebody else who's already in it, and you have to have elders who can keep you like. And
he knows better, because his sister is Ephah. Like I say, another friend of his passed. Ephah. I mean, Ephah is a big culture down there in New Orleans. He is heavily saturated in it, so he knows about it. But like I say,
no reason to be off to the side like this, then.
Well, he wants to be off to the side, That's me personally knowing him. He wants to be to the side. He wants to have his own thing. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's that when you being to the right, when you're doing things off to the side like that, and you misleading the people, that's the bad part. That's what's bad. That's why I could never.
That's why you had to step out. I believe that's why you had to come forward, and that's the same reason I did too. Because it's one thing if you're gonna be off to the side and you just doing your own thing, but once you start to instruct the people, like I said, I have somebody who came into my inbox was contemplating suicide. I had another woman who walked away from an 18-year marriage. Now, we can turn around to them people and say, well, you shouldn't let anybody dictate what you're going to do. But these people were actually believing in him. This is why I'm saying it's to that point. It's to that point, that serious, to where something has to be done, because these are the repercussions. See, you started going on collecting money, and I'm getting the fallout. You know what I'm saying? People coming because people, like I said, they saying, well, I saw him on you promoted him, and now this is happening. Help me. And when once you step out there and you start giving people instructions to lead their marriages, you have to stop.
That to me was always personal. What I mean by personal, it always looked to me like it was a personal thing with him, because if you said anything about a black female, you talking about a man that would blow up, that would literally, just go splastics, and what I was stating to him was facts, like I'll never forget one time I mentioned to him, I said, hey, look, man, everybody that you calling queen and goddess is not no queen. I'm like, look at their lives. Look at what they posting on Facebook. It's like where's you coming with this judgment that they queens and goddess? I mean, he blew up. He was like, man, you egotistical. The woman is God and all this stuff like that. And I'm like, look, that I ain't interfering with that. But what I'm saying is, everybody is not no queen and not no goddess. I mean, all you got to do is just
that's it. He contradicted himself, and he contradicted himself because he told us that some people were soulless, but this is the thing that me and my sister started putting together. We was like, dang, it seemed real odd that all of the men, all our husbands are soulless, but all women are goddesses. Right. You know what I'm saying? It was like all the men were soulless, and then we started putting together that, okay, something else going on here, because now you coming at us in this sexual manner. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I tell everybody this, and I tell Will this personally if he hear this interview. This how you gonna really know, to be able to judge the real from the fake and the contradictions. I challenge him to put up all his old videos, every video that he ever made, put it up there. Don't hide none of them. Put them all up there, and you're gonna be able to see contradictions from one video to the next video to the next video to the next video. Wow. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And like I say now, he probably gonna respond with this and say, hey, well, I went through all that stuff, like what Shawn was talking about, but the mothers was testing me and all that stuff. The mothers ain't gonna test you to mislead people and mess people's lives up. That's just
right. And this is what I'm saying. Now you know how sacred the woman is, and if you understand how sacred the woman is, I can't understand how the mothers would allow him to be doing this to these females. You understand what I'm saying? Right. And like I said, there's certain things me and you have discussed off to the side that I won't put in this interview, but you feel what I'm saying. And I kept going, but wait a minute. I mean, the mother's not pulling you aside saying, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that. That was never discussed.
Well, the mothers ain't been rocking. The mothers haven't been rocking with Will for the last 6 months. I'ma just keep that out there. I even question all of the seers out there that keep telling him that, hey, the mother's rocking with him, because I know they're not rocking with him. They're not proud. Yeah. They're not.
Well,
you know,
he got a little following. He got a little following, and like I said, they have made him their Messiah. You know, I mean, I see him out there, and everything he said. This one particular individual keep talking about she hearing from the Spirit, and I'm like, you hearing from the same Spirit he's hearing from, demonic. Now, I know about it. You new to this. That's why I said you out your league when it comes to this stuff. You know, you trying to check me, but I can run circles around you.
And when you say demonic, a lot of people in the consciousness may know it as negative beings, you know, but it's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing. It's negative. It's negative entities, and again, these negative entities will mimic. And so this is what I want people to understand, too. Every time you're talking about somebody walking with you and standing there with you, that may be the case, but where is it a lower vibrational entity? You understand? Because, you know, there's the thing about the spirit realm is that there's no, I mean, it ain't going to be no contradictions. I know that people be asking me, well, you get that out of a book? No, a lot of times I do get the information, but a book confirms what I already knew. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's how spirit information comes down. You know,
and that's called the physical matching the spiritual. Those two always have to match. If they don't match, then you know something is not right.
Something is not right.
And
one more just jumping on the bandwagon and believing everything. And I'm like, y'all don't know. And then you got this attitude. This is my thing, too, what people don't understand. Notice how everybody that really rock with him start to take on that same negative attitude, like F everybody and, you know, just nasty. And I'm like, do you understand how spirit works? Do you understand how, you know, it's like, do you necessarily want to be taking spiritual advice from somebody who 1 minute saying they love you and the next minute, fuck you? I mean, come on. That's not what you need to be. You know, people don't understand that. They don't understand.
And I mean, they do, like I say, these guys is entertainers now to me.
Right.
And they do all this stuff all about jealousy and being an agent and all that. Look,
but listen, this is the thing. Have you collected any money? Do you have a mansion? Do you have a GoFundMe account? Are you pushing any type of product out there to anybody?
No.
Neither am I. I just want to clear that up.
And then second of all, they don't know me. You know what I'm saying? Before I was a Christian, I was out in the streets. So when it comes to what side of the law that I'm on, it's not the good side. I'm more for the streets than anything.
Absolutely.
I don't live that life no more, but I'm just letting the people know who don't know me. That's my background, and people in my city know who I am, and that's just totally false. Then the second part about the jealousy, you know, jealous of what? Like, I mean, really, I mean, you know, and I don't mean to be nitpicking, but I'm just gonna let the truth be told. It's not a money thing because I work, he don't. It's not a house thing because I have my own place. He lives with his sister, sleep on his sister's couch. You know, it's not a relationship thing because, you know, that's not no problem. I don't have no problem in that area. So it's like jealous of what? What are you talking about?
People come with that, and that's why I say people talking, but you don't have the facts. And both of us, the reason why we came together was because we saw the same thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like it was funny how we both kind of spoke out at the same time, and it wasn't really orchestrated in that manner. It was just like, okay, I got to say this. And I was like, shoot, I'm about to say something too because people are in trouble. This don't have nothing. And this is the thing, when people say, oh, you jealous, and I heard somebody say something about Judas, and I'm like this, listen, if I promoted you, why would I be jealous of you? You understand what I'm saying? If I ever it would be one thing if I was hating from the start. I was the one pushing you out there, you know?
Right. And
this don't have anything to do with jealousy.
Right. The main reason I stepped up is because, you know, I see that his wall is going to come crumbling down real fast, and I knew that I was the one that was close to him, and I wanted people to know that, hey, look, don't be fooled by the videos and thinking that, you know, we was all that cool and gravy. It's a behind-the-scenes thing with that, and it wasn't all cool and all gravy, and it's still not, you know. It's like I was seeing a lot of things where, you know, I had to separate myself. Yeah,
but listen, tell me about this, because the same thing that he speaks about, I find this to be very ironic. The same thing that he was speaking about on that video, that initial video where he was warning the pastors, is essentially the same thing that he's doing. That's why I'm saying, it's like, don't you know that when this stuff comes down, you out here, you done misled all these people spiritually. There is a spiritual karmic debt for that. And that's why I'm glad that you're getting the hell away from him, because when it comes down, it's something that's gonna come for him too. Because I never
wanted to do that video. I never forget the morning that video was shot. You know, we just pretty much woke up that morning and we just, you know, went out to the park and shot that video. It was just pretty much a
you probably didn't even know what he was finna say.
No, I sure didn't, especially that. I was standing in the background. I was like, oh, man, I hate that video. Like if that video was shared today, I hate that video, but I'm glad you really can't see me too good in the background. Another video that I hated was the video where we were sitting at the table and we was talking about Soldier Slim and different things like that. The video was pretty good, but in the end, when he went off on the people about crying and stuff when they done lost a loved one, that shit almost really made me cringe right there, because, you know, I didn't like that one. I didn't like the video that he did with the rape victims, telling the women that they need to get over it and everything. And I personally, you see, that's where experience comes from. You know, I personally dated a young lady some years ago who was raped or whatever, and that's just something that a female don't get over like that.
No,
that's something that she got to deal with.
A lot of healing got to take place.
Right. That's something that you got to deal with on a personal level. And I just think he was stepping way over his boundaries when he did that video about, they need to forgive and move on. Nah, man. I think I mentioned it to him also, that you can't get that personal with this. You know,
well,
you can't get that personal.
That's the things they teach you in EFA. You have to, there's certain moral codes and stuff that you can't tell no woman to have an abortion. You're not supposed to tell anybody to leave their spouses. And, you know what I'm saying? It's certain things, and you have to be very, it's like you have to be careful how you come at people. You may know something, but you have to be careful how you say those things, And there's a healing process, and one of the things that you do as an EFA is you have to help the people. So if they having issues with rape, then it's your job to help them work through it. You know what I'm saying? That's like a part of it. And I guess he didn't get that because he didn't do the proper initiation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's another thing when you say to help, that also pretty much lets everybody know that he's fake. Okay? Mm-hmm. When I did the videos last week about him, if I was so wrong in everything and incorrect with what I was doing, don't you think that you being the loving brother and friend would say, oh, everybody, we need to try to get Shawn back on the right course or whatever. If I had did something wrong. But
you knew you was
instead,
right 'cause you had them screenshots. You had
right.
You know what I'm saying?
He came on the video with all the negativity. And another thing, when people have cult-like tendencies, what they do is they cut that person off from them to where they can't respond. You know,
right.
So see, he threw that shot at me and you, but he had cut me off of Facebook. By that time, he had blocked me, so I couldn't even comment to his around his little followers. So that's why people right now is trying to judge. Wait, what's going on here? Should I,
Well, that's the thing.
Should I
like
believe? Right.
I feel like the people who heard you, because there was people who heard you who still cut you off. And I noticed they unfriended me or they stopped commenting on my post. But see, this is the thing. Me and you, we don't get paid based off of Facebook likes. We don't get paid based off of Facebook views. We don't get paid based off of Facebook followers. For me, I could care less who follow me because I'm just here to give you the information. I'm here to help you get up out of this spiritual bondage that people keep putting them in. And if you listen or not, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people getting attitudes and they taking sides. I don't give a damn. I hate to be rude about it, but for me, whatever you do, if I give you the information and you choose to say, well, the hell with you, I'm going to follow him, I'm still going to speak in the store tonight. I'm still going to speak in the store tonight. You understand?
That's right.
So,
that's right.
I don't have a vendetta. I'm not, for them, now this is what you pay attention to. If you see how everybody reacted over there, everybody who got a financial investment involved, see how they acted?
Right.
It was like they read the fight.
Yeah, they got a financial investment in him, but not me. I never, got any kind of financial conversation for no reason or anything. And I didn't have a lot of people who started off with him who came and inboxed me. It was like, Shawn, let me know if you need, I want to learn some info. Let me know how much it'll cost. And I'd be like, no, I don't. I'm not in this for that. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if that's what he. I don't know if that's what he told them. I don't know. But I'm not gonna put that on them because I really don't know the facts on that one. But I do know that people was coming towards me, wanting to pay, and I'm like, no. I remember telling one guy, man, look, I work for a living. I don't, I don't do that. It ain't no side hustle or nothing. I work. So.
Well, I don't, and I don't even have. Listen, I'm a housewife, and I don't even have no bank account. My husband gives me an allowance, and it's enough to get what I need. And I'm not, as far as like that. When I heard I was an agent, and I said a paid agent, I had no problem. I was like that. That's new. I done been called everything from witch to. I've been called a lot of things, and I'm immune to all that because I knew what it was coming in 2011. What I was going to be up to.
First of all, that agent bullshit is coming from somebody that I know. I don't know this nigga. I don't know him. I do not know no Osei Kafur, whatever the hell his name is. Don't know me. He talking about some ears on some streets. Man, he don't rock with nobody in Baton Rouge. This nigga from Virginia. We don't rock with nobody from no East Coast. He don't even know about the area he talking about down here. You know what I'm saying? Don't nobody rock with nobody from when you can tell when somebody is when that's their character. Right. That is
and I'm saying like that's a persona that you put on. You not what you say you are, and I know that. I know spiritual when I see, like I said, a priest when you see one.
But like I say, these cats is entertainers, You know, they could.
Well, you know what?
It's
a greater thing behind that, Shawn. It's more of a sinister thing behind it because that's a distraction. It's really a distraction from the true awakening that our people are supposed to be entering in. All this stuff is just entertaining to keep them amused, keep them pumped up on their ego, and in the meantime, they're not focusing on their own spiritual journey because they're thinking that it's all taken care of. You know what I'm saying? That's what that really is. It's a distraction.
Right. And when I saw that video, man, you know, I laughed because I'm like, man, this is the reason why I'm retired out of consciousness because this looks like some WC, what they call that wrestling stuff, WWF.
Yeah.
When this guy teams up with another guy and they don't even know who they fighting. Is like, what kind of shit is this? You know, where they do this at?
You couldn't do nothing but laugh because, like I said, I didn't even look at it because I was like, I know it's on some BS. I'm not tripping on none of that because I got a threat. Somebody decided they was going to send me a threat on my phone. And I was like, really, I feel like this. Make your goddamn move because if you only knew what type of stuff I was sitting on, I'm ready to hit the send button because I'm going to shut a bunch of stuff down. Make your move because I'm you know, the only reason I've been still is because of the people that's involved and for their safety and privacy. But I'm on the front line, and I know that if I raise up, it ain't just gonna be me. It's not gonna just be me. So I'm not even tripping. I was like, if you was gonna do it, you would have been did it. But make your move. Let's get this shit popping because I've been waiting for this since 2011. Bring it. You know what I'm saying? And when I drop a couple of key points and to let this person know. You ain't playing with just anybody. And I'm going to take care of you on the physical and the spiritual. So let's go. I ain't hear from that person not no more.
Right.
Don't come with them threats if you ain't going to do nothing. Because, see, I ain't threatening nobody. Because, like I said, when you know what you got and when you know what you can do, you're not out there waving it and saying, I'm going to do this and this, that, and the other, and this person. No, because if you was going to do it, you would have did it. So shut that down.
Right. And you right. I'm not threatened by nobody. Everybody know what it is. And I'm not threatened by nobody. You know, a lot of people are like, oh, I was concerned about you. Concerned about me for what? Do y'all know who y'all talking to? Y'all talking to Shawn Graham. You know, I ain't threatened. I'm not threatened physically, spiritually, mentally, none of the above. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, they know where I'm at. I'm in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I stay off of Burbank Drive. You know, I'm gonna put my.
Well, you know what? The thing about it is the threats. It was to me, it was a good thing. I'm glad that the threats were put out there because it showed. Man, you know how many people are scattered. I mean, at one point they was like, yeah. The threats came out and everybody was ghosts. I was like, really? But see, that's how you know, I mean, this is the thing. I've been here by myself a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? By myself. But because I'm working for the greater good, and same thing with you, you know, the mothers, the universe, they're going to send you who you need.
Right,
and
exactly.
When I tell you so many people, people left, and so it showed you who was really rocking with you and who didn't have your back. But then a lot of powerful people was like, hey, I see what's going on, what you need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That type of thing. Because I wasn't backing down because I'm not trying to take down people personally. My thing is stop with this bogus teaching. And
Right. And all of the ones that have the unconditional love, we have the unconditional love because I could have just walked away and nobody would have known anything.
Exactly.
But by me by me standing by this guy, you know, I thought that, you know, and I'm hoping, and I'm hoping that people can see, hey, this guy actually stayed in the same house with this dude when this so-called reading stuff was supposed to pop out. So who would know more about this situation than him? Well, you know what I'm saying? I know about this situation. Ain't nobody else that's around Will gonna sponsor him as being a reader. If he's really a reader, ask him to get somebody from New Orleans or somebody within his own household that can say, hey, this guy can actually see. He can actually be a reader. Ain't nobody gonna sponsor him. His sister ain't gonna sponsor him. His friends ain't gonna sponsor him. You know, none of his relatives gonna sponsor him because this is something that he has anointed himself. Wow. You see what I'm saying? I'm just plain and simple. He gave his own self that name, Haru. He did that. Oh, wow. I was there when he did it. And like I say, I got the hell from around it when he did it. But when I got back to Baton Rouge, that's when my boy telling me, hey man, what's up with your boy? Because he all on Facebook talking about GoFundMe. You know, I'm like, what? And that was when I was like, you know, I'm done with this. I was slowly. Oh, and one more thing I want to mention. I also set him up. I set him up with the video he did called Rising of the Gods. I deliberately set him up on that one. The day before, I put some stuff out about the elections and all that stuff like that because I knew that how he feels about anything that I say, he has to come out with a video that's gonna top anything that I say. You know, you know, it wasn't so much of a partnership with us. It was more like a competition. You know, so I knew he was not for me because I ain't give a damn. I never wanted to really do a video, but I knew he was gonna drop a video, and he dropped that video right there, Rising of the Gods, and that video right there has a lot of contradictions in it. You know, he still got it posted up, I believe, but just look at the crazy shit that's in that video. And then he was telling people... Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead. Go ahead, and then I got to ask you something specifically that he said. But go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Okay. And another thing, too, you know, he was going around back in September and October. I don't know if you remember, but I know a lot of people probably remember this. He was going around telling people that, man, I don't see this thing making it past October 31st.
Sure did. We were supposed to be ready on Halloween.
Right.
A few of us have talked about it. None of his prophecies have come to pass. As people still rocking with it.
Right, and I'm the one that called him. I'm the one that called him and told him and say, hey, man, you shouldn't be throwing no dates out there like that.
Dates out there.
Because
I think that's how you knew it was the wrong spirit.
Right, because that's cult shit. I don't care what they say about cult come from the word cultivate and all that. I'm talking about the definition. Yes, that's in the white man's dictionary because that's
somebody actually took it there. Somebody actually tried to take it there.
Yeah, I mean, I ask him that. I tell him this. If you was to actually look at the word cultivate in the way that Osei Kafur and Will was talking about, well, I tell you this. You pretty much giving the religions a scapegoat. You see what I'm saying? Because you letting them off the hook. Because that's exactly what they are. That means that this fool Jim Jones really wasn't a cult leader. He was something else.
If you use their logic. If you use their logic. But fuck all that. Excuse me for saying it like that. That's crazy. That's how twisted these entertainers' mind has gotten. No, they know what cult means. They know the definition of what I'm saying. Right, and at the end of the day, it's still 120-something people dead following behind Jim Jones. Whether you use that particular logic or that definition of the word, they still look to that man for spiritual advice, and they drank the Kool-Aid and was dead. These people are still doing what these people are telling them to do spiritually and getting themselves in trouble. Right.
And like I say, he put that. I'll never forget one time he called me oh man, this big spaceship. I'm supposed to meet this spaceship out in the woods, and I'm supposed to be jumping on this spaceship, and I'm on the phone like, this nigga talking about a big ass spaceship, and I know this ain't come from the mothers. It's like, you know, I was like, man, and he was telling these people this stuff. I'm like, I cannot co-sign for this.
See? And people would run their following selves right out there. But let me ask you this, and then we're gonna have to wrap it up because I don't want it to be too long. We lose people's attention. But listen,
right.
Let me just ask you about this because this is one of the turning points, and I saw a difference in his behavior. I saw him get frantic after this because I believe he felt like he lost a lot of people when he said this. What the heck did he mean when he said that all this time he thought Yahweh was Yahweh, but turns out that Yahweh was really his mama? What the hell?
Well. You know, ISIS supposed to be his mother, and if you
but he said she took off a mask and was really, you know what I'm saying, was Yahweh.
I don't know. That's like I say. He claimed he getting this shit from a spiritual realm, but this stuff is coming from his schizophrenic mind. Right. This is coming from his schizophrenic mind, you know. And
okay, well let me just say this. Let me say this so that we can wrap it up. But I want to say this and you can say your piece. This is me speaking from Monet. Mm-hmm. I never had no problem with Will personally. Like I said, you know, he came to me with some information that I had never heard before. And I was like, okay, well, this is going to help our people. So I felt the need to jump down with him and help get that message out. So this interview is in no way to, discredit this brother personally. You know what I'm saying? And like, hear his name or anything like that. I want that to be said. You know, I want that to be said from me. As far as the young lady that's working with him now, my heart was with her. She don't understand how deep she's in this because she did certain things that took her to another level spiritually, but not in the way that she thinks. And as far as when I was telling people about them items, this is just one other thing I want to touch on. Do you understand about spirituality and accursed items? You know that. You understand how that works, right?
Of course.
When somebody have that spirit on them and they're giving you spiritual items, and you
is in everything that they have. Right.
Everything that they have. If they give it to you, you now have given permission. Right. You have now opened a doorway to entities in your home, around your kids. And so she took on, like, thinking that it was personal. She comes at me personal, and, you know, she's much younger than me, so I ain't go at her. But I was just like, look, I know you don't understand this level of spirituality. You just understand what Will is telling you. But, baby, you in so much trouble. You in so much trouble. And then you come talking about you taking food off my table because I told people to go throw their items at the crossroad or in a moving body of water. Taking food off your table would be telling people to get a refund. I ain't telling nobody to get no refund, Shawn. I told them to get up.
Yeah, you didn't. But like I was saying, you know, she's new to it. You know, she don't have a lot of experience in it. You know, and I ain't gonna put too much more info out there about her. But I mean, people know what it is. I mean, you know, she's sponsoring somebody that, you know.
And she'll go down with him. She'll go down with him because spirit realm is going to deal with her too because she played a big part in promoting. Like I said, I'm trying to undo what I did. I don't need no problems in the spirit realm. I know how that goes. But that's what I tried to tell her. I said, baby, you over your head and you don't even know, and you steady pushing him and talking about he gonna do this and do that. He can't get up off his sister's sofa. What that tell you? What did that tell you?
Exactly. Yeah, he didn't want. He don't want to work. You know, plain and simple. You know, I mean, that's for me. Like I say, knowing them personally, that's one of the main reasons why I came back to Baton Rouge because he feel within spirit that, you know, he don't have to work no more, you know. So I just
he found him a little hustle. That's
right,
what it was.
Right. So whatever it is, that's like you said, they got to deal with it. My thing was to inform the people that's involved with it. Some people that may not know, you know, or may want to know more in detail. That's what this interview about. And like you say, I really don't have nothing personally against him at all. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't got no time for that. The other guy, Osaka, you know, I don't care what he say. He could drop 100 videos about me. I don't know him. He don't know me. So I don't even know where he
don't know Will. That's the thing.
Yeah,
he
don't know Will. So I don't even know where he come from. It's like that's some, like I say, that's some entertainment, WWF wrestling type stuff. You know,
right?
He in the wrong business for that. Yep.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Well, okay, brother. It was good talking to you. What I'm going to do, we're going to stop the recording, and then I'm going to, me and you will wrap up. We'll say a few things, but hang on. Let me stop this one second. Right. But I appreciate you reaching out to me and coming back and wanting to set the straight because, like I said, there's a lot of people who just not understanding how serious this is, you know.
I was shocked. I was really, really shocked last week. The comments, the people was automatically taking sides.
Jumping to conclusions.
And really when they looked at the two videos, I was speaking on, you know, information. It wasn't nothing personal. I'm still not talking about anything personal. I'm just stating the facts of the situation. Put the dots together and you can connect them, you know, plain and simple.
Right, absolutely. Put the dots together, but you know, when you only getting half of the story, you know, like you say, if people cut him off, he cut you off, so people couldn't hear your side, you know, your comeback, and then so he take them off to the side and start speaking these things in these videos, saying little stuff, and of course they gonna believe his side because that's the only side they're hearing.
Right. But I noticed two of his videos because I got a way to spy on him because I got another Facebook account. So I was able, you know, to see the last two videos he did. He didn't have a whole lot of comments now. He had a lot of people that watched it, but he didn't have too many comments. And I think that people are starting to, like, wait, what's going on here? You know?
I have a lot of people that's actually in my that come and they pull me to the side, you know. But because of all the, you know, because like I said, they don't know what they're dealing with spiritually, so they choose to remain hidden, and I respect that, you know, because I understand. I know that they don't fully understand that this ain't nothing but a bunch of puff, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing but a smoke screen for people to appear like they have these spiritual powers and they don't, you know. But at the end of the day, they see and they're putting stuff together, because if you had just said something and people hadn't actually had the experience themselves, you would have to prove your point. But a lot of these people are like, okay, I talked to him and he told me I was a princess. Then when I got on the reading, he told me I was a mother goddess. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, with all these contradictions, they know exactly
because this dude got something that, like I say, P-God is saying he cannot see. This is some voice talking to him. I have never heard of a reader that cannot see. You know, how are you giving readings and getting paid for it and you cannot see? I mean, you know, people come on, people. I mean, y'all got to wake up. This brother cannot see. And see, he knew that I have certain visions and certain dreams, but I told him, I say, even though I have these type of things, I don't want to be giving people readings because I just started off into this, and I really don't know everything. Right, I don't know everything that I'm seeing and I'm hearing, and I said I want to get confirmation of some of the things that I'll be hearing and seeing. I can't be, and then I don't want to be giving nobody personal instruction, even if I was completely had it 100% anyway. I still don't want to give people personal advice.
Aren't you responsible? You're responsible for that. You're
right.
That's what I mean by spiritual karmic debt. You now what happens is when you step out here in this arena where you start giving advice, now you no longer responsible just for yourself. You become responsible for every person that you misled.
Right. And one thing you was telling me about in the interview that I didn't put in the interview, it was a young lady. I'll never forget. We went to Houston. It was a young lady named Dominique, forgot her last name, but she's from Houston. And we met up with her at the restaurant or whatever, and she was saying how she, felt like it was a lot of information she wanted to talk about. And he kept on pushing her to want to do a video. Come on, you can do a video. He's just a very, very pushy person. I mean, it's just it's crazy. And in the videos, when you see him go off, he like that in real life. Like he 100 times that in real life as far as the house part, because it's a lot of times I just had to walk away, knowing who I am. I just said, let me walk away from this dude, because if I don't walk away, I'm gonna lay him out. And so let me just walk away, because there's something. And I remember some nights I'll go back into the office room. That's where I slept at, because they had like a little couch in there. I used to be saying, you know what? I done seen people like this before. And I said, I wonder if this dude got to be bipolar or schizophrenic, because ain't nowhere in the world. Remember, that was the first thing I asked you when I came to you. I said, is he mentally okay? Like, is he schizophrenic, or is he having everybody pretty much believe the stuff that be going on in his mind? Because a lot of it sounds like fantasy. I understand how. Yeah, it is fantasy. In fact, if you look at one of his videos that he did last week, when he was talking about opening up your third eye, he was pretty much telling people that, hey, when your third eye opens up, your imagination is info coming from the spirit realm. I was like, what the hell? Ain't no way. Imagination and spirit, no, that's not the same thing. But that's what he told people. Mm-hmm. That's what he told them, and people believe in this. People talking about, oh, yeah, I imagine stuff all the time. And I'm like, look at these comments, like, y'all can't be this lost.
They that lost. I mean, but you have to understand, these are the same people that came from religion. They just got into another level of religion.
This is worse than religion.
Still being led.
Right. This is worse than religion. At least religion is more organized and ain't gonna be that much damaging to your life, because they know religion gonna tell you.
They still paying tithes. They don't realize it, but they still paying tithes. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Spiritual tithes.
It's the same thing.
Right. Exactly. And like I say, that's worse than religion, because ain't no religion gonna tell you to leave your husband and your family and all this stuff. Right. And this one was my king and my queen. He got so many kids from these goddesses in the spirit realm. Let me tell you,
this is one of the reasons why these women don't have a problem, sexually, because they think I forgot to tell you this. We had a reading from this young lady, Paris, and
when she was right there when he was getting the reading, and she told him, she said, "Oh no, you only had, I think he only had like 1 or 2 wives in the past life. He did not have all of these different wives that he's telling people. That's something that, once again, he imagining whatever this and nothing possessed him, telling him all this crazy stuff. So it's
that's
crazy.
Boosting him up on the ego, you know, and it's like the higher he get on his ego, the more you can't tell him nothing, you can't pull him down. But that's what them demons, those entities, I call them lower vibrational entities, that's exactly where they want him, because they can manipulate and drive him based on his ego. You know, keep pumping his head up, and then you get all these people around you who calling you God. Hey, I was guilty. I ain't going to lie, I was guilty, but my spirit don't allow me to sit and listen to foolishness for long. I have to figure it out, you know, and then the spirit start putting stuff together. But, you know, everybody calling you God and looking for you to tell them what to do next. And after a while, that takes on a life of its own, and nobody can tell you nothing, and you heading for destruction, and you taking a bunch of people with you.
Right, and that dude, Will Copprue, they supposed to be having a conference, I think, December 17th. So that's where I think he kind of then
as soon as somebody told me he said something, I said, well, you know what that is, because otherwise he would be concerned about these accusations. You would be concerned, and, you know, because if I was working with somebody and I start getting all these complaints about the person that I'm supposed to be working with, I'm going to look and see, well, hell, because I don't want to be connected to some foolishness now, you know, so I'm going to check and see what people are really saying. If you
that's going to be quite interesting how it's going to take place now after we drop this, because, I mean, a lot of people probably going to be going to probably, you know, not go to that now.
Well, that's what it has to be, because we're in the time of reveal, and just because you got melanin popping or whatever you want to say don't mean nothing. If you out here lying to the people, all this right here, the universe going to reveal every deception.
And that guy got
they have
to
been
be
getting away with it for years, but it's been revealed.
That guy got to be putting up money for him to come out there, because Will, like I say, he don't have no job, you know.
We'll talk about that. Hey, when we get off this interview, we'll talk about that, because like I said, this particular individual, he wasn't involved in none of this until he raised up.
You were still recording?
Yes. But I
no,
I can. Yeah, I didn't cut it off yet. I'm going to cut it off now. Hold on.
Okay.